Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Emily Rose Saban, and today I have another special guest. But actually, I say that she's kind of extra special. She doesn't know, but she's really one of the moms that I admire. And even from the distance, she doesn't know, but I do admire her. So I really am very happy when she said kids that when I asked her, Kim, can I do an interview with you? And when she said yes, the feeling is so different. So,
Aw.
kids, this is a special one. Like I said, before I let Kim introduce herself, this is special because she is a mom of two.
Mhm.
And then I've seen her beautiful kids, and I love them. And they are really cool. I've seen them and I've just enjoyed watching the two of them. So, now, Kim, can you introduce yourself and take it away?
Yes, yeah, my name is Kim Libby, and like Emily said, I have two children, Elsa and James. My daughter Elsa is going to be 11 years old in just a couple days, which is very
Yay.
exciting.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you. And James will be 10 in a few months. So, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's very nice. Time flies. And
Mhm.
then, so Kim, here are my hard questions. Okay. I wish there's a drum that will roll, but we don't have it. So, do you, as a mom, or before you became a mom, we're gonna go back. We'll do a little bit of a rewind. Okay. So, do you love to read?
Yes, I love to read. It's one of my favorite activities that I can do. Yes.
Okay, so when do you remember what age when you started reading?
I remember learning how to read when I was probably around 5 years old, and before then there was a lot of books in my house, so I'm sure I was looking at the pictures in books, but actually learning to read myself started when I was probably around 5, 6 years old.
Oh wow, that's like early and really that's cool. But did your parents read to you or you just learn reading by yourself?
My parents read to me, yes. And I am one of four children, and I'm the oldest, but we're all very close in age. So my parents would read books to all of us kids together. And so that was like a nice activity that we would do.
Okay, so when your parents read to you, is it bedtime or during the day or kind of like that? So
Yeah, both my parents were working during the day, so it was a bedtime activity.
okay,
Yes.
do you have a favorite one that you like? You know how girls, how we are? But do you have any favorites?
When I was really little, the book that I remember them reading to us is Goodnight Moon.
Oh, wow.
And
I
I
love
really,
that one.
yeah, I really like that book. The repetition of it and being able to look and find the pictures that match the words in the poem that's in the book. And so yeah, that's one that stands out.
Okay, so now that you are a mom, I probably know the answer. I really do know the answer, but I still wanted to ask her just to make sure. And as they say, don't assume, okay? So, do you read to your kids now?
Yes. Yep. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So, are they both reading on their own, or you
Mhm.
still read to them?
They are both reading on their own, and in our house, it's part of our evening routine. So after they've gotten their pajamas on and brushed their teeth, a lot of times we'll read together as a family, and then they have time that they can read on their own. And the hardest thing is getting them to go to sleep because they want to keep reading on their own, and they like to read and read and read. So yes.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And that's a good thing that they are like sort of accountable of their own. Wow. See, I told you she's one of the best moms. So, and what do you call this one? So, do they both read the same or they both have a different type of, one could be fantasy, sci-fi, and the other horror ones or something. So what's the difference between the two of them?
Yeah, they do have a lot of overlap of things that they like to read, but they do have differences. So my daughter is the fantasy girl. She loves to read about dragons and adventures.
My kind.
Yes, and stories about animals as well. So if there's and she really likes series. So she likes if an author has written more than one book, because when the book ends, she always wants to know what's going to happen next with the characters. And so if she knows it's a series, she'll know that there's more books that she can keep reading about those characters. So that's what she really likes to read. My son likes action and adventure books a lot, but he also really likes nonfiction. If it's about sports, or he really likes Pokemon, and so he'll read books about Pokemon. So he likes that kind of thing, but they are both very in tune with what the other is reading. And if one of them is very excited about a book and is talking about it, the other one is like, I want to read that. I want to find out what's happening. So my son is really into a series right now that's about the Greek gods and goddesses, has to do with those stories. And so it's something that my daughter wasn't like totally interested in, but because he was talking about it so much, she was like, okay, I need to read it. I need to know what you're talking about.
I really love the gods and goddesses, and I kind of like in the methodology. I am so into them when I was growing up, and just because of, not that I love the bad guys, but it's just like I know the thing of good and evil, and despite of everything, I always know that the good wins over the evil. And it's just the battle between, those kind of things, like for example, Medusa and all the other ones, and the heroes like Pegasus, I think, was the horse, and stuff like that. But I'm kind of tying it to, I think the one of the movies that they have done that I really love was Clash of the Titans. I like one those kind of movies I like, but then at the same time I've read the book, but it's just really fun. So, but you as a mom now, which books are you into? Like,
right now I like to read for myself. You mean? Yeah. So I like to read a lot of young adult books actually, and I think part of it is because being a mom who's working, at the end of the day, I'm often like really tired, but I still want to read because I love reading. And so being able to read something that's written for a younger audience actually makes it a little bit like easier for me, and the chapters are usually shorter. And so it makes the act of reading a lot more fun for me. And so I read a lot of young adult books. But then there's all kinds of things. Like somebody will tell me about a book that they really loved, and then I want to read it. So.
You know what? I can't blame you for that, but that's a good one. I think on my end, I just want to share it. That one time I did ask Joyce. I grew up reading with the Disney and then the princesses and those. And I really remember our books from my grandmother's were the long, it's like tall, big, green leathered book with a gold edge of the pages. And the pictures are like silky, like kind of glossy ones. And it's really nice to read. But then when I came here, when I started working at the library, I've seen a lot of children's books, even the series ones that were not in my generation, or should I say. But it was like I like curiosity, in a way, and then I learned that. I asked Joyce actually, I said, is it weird that I'm a grown-up, a mom, and I will be reading like children's books? And not like, I mean, the part of it, like you said, being a mom, and I was just trying to picture you because your kids love to read. So I was like, oh, maybe she have her own kind of books, and then you cannot read it because of your kids, and you're busy as well. I tell you, she is one of the busiest mom, and she's with education, so she's really the best of the best, should I say. And then so I was like, that's really encouraging. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I really kind of like it, that you mentioned that one, because for me, at times I thought, like, that's why I did this interview when I said it at first that I will interview my colleagues, because I know they have wisdom as well. And for me, like, I love to learn, and learning from others is really a good thing. So that's one of the things, like, oh, that is so nice, thank you. And I'm kind of relieved a little bit that it's okay to read books that is not your level.
Yeah.
And I remember too, this is a good one. If you really wanted to read or learn, I mean, if you really wanted to learn something fast, go
Yes.
with children's books,
Yep.
right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
If there's
so-
something in history that you want to learn, or a famous person, those are great books to go to, because some of the ones that are meant for adults that are biographies, they're so long and sometimes they're a little bit boring. But the children's books have like great illustrations in them, and they're shorter, they're easier to read and get excited about.
So kids, there you go. You got it from the expert, straight from the expert. And okay, so going back to, so Kim, when you were growing up, did you have any superheroes or, you know?
I don't think I had any one in particular, but I really liked stories and movies and like TV shows, like pop culture, where there was like a strong female character, like a girl who was like adventurous and brave and like and especially if if the people around her didn't expect her to be as good as she could be, but she proved that she could be great. Like those were the kind of characters that I really liked.
So now I can tell, that's why mostly I can see you. I mean, you don't know, but you're kind of like, that's what one of the things I admire about you. Like I said, I just watch from the distance, but I think through that one, that's why I always ask who's your superhero or your character, because sometimes that's how, as the kid, you grow up, you know how you say, I want to be a fireman, I want to be this, I want to be that, and you have a superhero, you turn to be like, I wanted to do this good because, you know, like that and stuff. So that's a very good quality, a very, very nice one. And so here's another thing. Now that you're educator, right? So did you ever picture yourself when you were young that one day you'll be dealing with stuff with education? And on your line you have a lot, right? It's not just, can you break it down a little bit? So, you know.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I wanted to be an artist when I grew up. That was my dream, and that's what I wanted to do. But I also thought that I would be involved in teaching in some way. So I thought I might be an art teacher or do something like that. So I think teaching has always kind of been there. I work now in adult education and working with adults who are learning English, or adults who are learning how to use computers and technology. And so, as a kid, I didn't know that existed. You just think that like, oh, adults know everything. they are the experts. But then as you get older, you learn, oh, adults are still learning too, because no matter how old we are, we always have things to learn. And that's why I love working at the library, because it's a place of learning and people come here to learn and get information. I'm not professionally an artist, and I'm okay with that, because teaching is something that I got involved with when I was still in college, and I just really fell in love with it, and I really love being a part of a community that is learning and that is curious.
But can I tell you that being a teacher, it's still, you are an artist? Yeah, you didn't notice that? You're still an artist in a different sense, like, because you have to evolve in many ways, and, like that. So in a way, you're still a teacher.
Yeah. It's still a creative, it's a creative
and an artist. Yeah, you're still, So now, is there any, when you were like, normally kids, like, there's a certain age that as we grow up, there's a certain word, a motto, or a quote that you go by or live by that makes you, to reach where you're at now, like kind of motivates you as well, So what was it?
Yeah, I think it was something along the lines of stay curious. And I think also something that my great grandmother used to say, and she was in her 90s when I was a kid, but she just would repeat how you're always learning. Even when you're 90 years old, you are still always learning. And so I think staying curious and always knowing that there's more to learn about it has stuck with me. Yeah.
Well, for me, I know that I always say this. That's why with learning, I really am a person that I love to learn. And then I always say that I want to have a teachable spirit so that I could learn.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I really get stuck in my head, although there are a lot of things I know, is that you'll never stop learning till you're under 6 feet of the ground. That's the only time learning would stop. But as long as you are alive and above the ground, there's so much to learn. And that's the thing I love about this one is that, see, today, kids, you learn so much. And at the same time, I learn a lot from my colleague. So
yes, and
it's really, really, really great. And then, so as we close, Kim, I would love to still interview her, but unfortunately, I can't. So, is there any word of encouragement as a mom or to the kids? And then, a word that you can give them to encourage them to, so.
Yeah, I think it's really important to trust yourself and trust who you are. And to be patient with yourself because sometimes as a kid you want to already know how to do something or to be able to do things that people who are older than you are doing and just be kind and be patient with yourself because you're doing a really good job.
Oh, that is so very, very nice. It's very sweet for a mom to say that. I mean, it's really a great encouragement. And see, I myself, I really love it. So, like I said, kids, I know some of you out there are saying, oh, same as me here. So, everyone, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will have Kim answer your questions. So guys, send in your questions and then she'll be really happy to answer them. So it's not the last of Kim. And then we'll be able to chat and see you guys in the future, maybe soon, who knows. So thank you so much again for tuning in. And Kim, thank you so much, very, very much for the privilege of your time because really she's really very busy person. So I really am thankful that she has said yes to me. So again, everyone, thank you so much. And you guys have a good one. And for now, good night. Bye.
Bye.
In my country, it's a good night. So probably some of you are already sleeping. So bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.